Hello, this is Stephen Whitfield, drilling contractor here at the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana, at the 2022 IADC Annual General Meeting. And with me right now is Kenny Baker, Director of Personnel Development at Cactus Drilling. Mr. Baker gave a spirited discussion on personnel and just sort of attracting personnel into this industry and keeping them here. So, Kenny, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
All right, yeah, anytime.
So you touched on a lot of topics here at the conference, and one of the ones that you kind of touched on was sort of understanding the new generation of workers. You know, how do we sort of learn about them and the importance of learning about them. So sort of what are some of the differences that you've noticed in sort of the newer generation of workers compared to maybe back in the day or something like that?
So my main deal is on all that is we generation after generation we always say, well, y'all's just different than us. Y'all can't do it like we can do it. So, you know, one of the big differences right now is the technology that everybody has on their fingertips and, you know, all the cell phones and all that good stuff. So we didn't have that. You know, I'll kind of use the example as we needed to go look something up. We had to go to the encyclopedia now. And so another difference is, you know, if you called somebody up and talked to them or asked questions now, you just do everything via text or via email. So the whole lot of the person-to-person relationship ain't there no more. So it causes some differences on the generations.
You also sort of talked about, you know, the things, I guess, how to fix the gaps that we see between the young generation and the current generation that's leading them. So what are some of the steps that you think we can take?
You know, one of my biggest steps that I say is just ask questions, get to know them, talk to them, bring them in, make them feel like they belong, and then you'll know what their background is, where they come from, what they did, and then once you get that information, you should be able to figure out how to manage them properly. But if you don't know what they don't know or what they know, then how are you going to teach anybody anything? So my main deal with the hands is get to know them. I always use the word love on them, make them feel welcome, make them want to come to work, and teach them and show them and invest in them.
Yeah, we also talked a little bit about sort of, teachable moments, things like that. There was a question that was asked at the session today about the skill set that you want to see out of young roughnecks and sort of the skill sets needed to sort of teach these young roughnecks. And so what would you say those skill sets are? Are they any different now than they were, 20, 25 years ago?
You know, and not really, but my big deal is I want to drive. I want somebody that's got to drive and ready to go and want to work hard and get it done and want to go somewhere, want to have something, And so I always say that the main skill set is give me a drive. And that was asked to us is what's the skill set needed? The difference between when I was younger and now, I was using a grease gun when I was 12 years old, and that's roughnecks now use grease guns every day. Well, we're having to teach those guys how to use what a grease gun even is. So, and that's all right. We can do that. But to teach them, you got to be open-minded. You can't just be the guy that, it's not a cookie-cutter deal is what I tell everybody. You got to teach everybody differently. You've got to have patience, and you've got to love people. If you don't love people, you probably ain't a very good manager. So, you've got to love and try to help them and work with them and teach them as much stuff as you can and really invest in them.
Well, Kenny, this is all such valuable insight here. We know in this industry, everybody's talking about getting the young people in here and sort of building that next generation of workforce to take the industry forward. So thank you so much for providing that insight and just letting us know what's up, what needs to be done.
Well, it's an honor to come and speak. I don't get to do it all the time, but, man, when I do, I really enjoy it and get to see everybody. One thing I always tell everybody is I love this industry. The guys in the oil field and the executive guys, I've got to know all of them. They welcome me in with open arms. Man, it's just real. It's a pleasure and an honor to get to come and speak.
And we're happy to hear you speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for visiting Drilling Contractor.